Hi folks, welcome back to Three Barrow Farm. My name is Amy and I live in central Victoria on 42 acres with my family of 5. And today is a beautiful sunny day, although there's still a chill in the air after the hailstorm we had last night. And as you can see behind me, the rhubarb didn't fare well in the storm. There are a lot of holes in the rhubarb's leaves, unfortunately. So it was probably one of the most scariest storms I've experienced. There was one summer storm that came through quite a few years ago, and it was all around us, just thunder and lightning. We were almost like we were in the eye of the storm, and the rain was so forceful that it actually started to come and flood through the keyhole on our door, on our kitchen door. So that was insane. This one was just absolutely terrifying because you're in the house and the wind was pushing all this hail, all this ice. The grass is actually it's all flattened. Everything's been flattened or has holes in it. It's been shredded, except, the native plants and the trees seem to be just fine. All the vegetables that, weren't covered by the netting or the frost cloth have just been shredded, basically. All our strawberries in the front. I'm confident that everything will bounce back and it will be fine. I'm just hoping that it doesn't happen again. And there is something in this, like I was busting to actually plant some of my lettuces and things out yesterday, and I hadn't looked at the weather. I'm usually a person who looks at the weather and documents it on the calendar, sort of, to choose what days I do what and plan. But I had not looked to see a storm of this height. It affected certain areas, but in between some of those areas there was nothing, so it was very interesting. It is what it was, and luckily, thankfully, something told me that I didn't have time, and I just wasn't in the right place to go planting after doing all the work I did in the garden yesterday. So that was good. It was good that I didn't plant out those things, because those things would have just been destroyed. Those lettuces and flowers that I was going to plant out would have been shredded and would not have come back from it. So this garden that I have been putting a lot of time and effort into is okay. There is a frost cloth over there, an old one that has just been ripped through by the hail, and all my corianders and this cornflower looks fine to me. This kale, the sweet peas, all this coriander has really taken a hitting, but it will bounce back. It will be okay. There was just ice all over everywhere. It was like a winter wonderland. So before the storm hit, I had finished off putting newspaper down along here, and you can see some of the remains of the newspaper. It's sort of been chomped up a little bit, and I'd put manure on top. This bed is ready to plant out, and this is where I was going to plant out my seedlings yesterday. When I do plant this area out, I've got another one of those nets, and I'm going to put the nets over. So here they are. They're not doing too badly, some of them. Others have, this one's pretty badly injured. Some of them are okay. This kale has been hit a bit, but it's gonna bounce back. It will be fine. I just keep telling myself that it will be fine. So all of the spinach that's in here is doing okay. I'm gonna have to take this away because all that plastic is just gonna spread, and Luna's finding her way in there. How'd you come, girl? You have to come out the hole. Yep. So I had planted all these carrot seeds in here. So time will tell as to whether my carrot seeds are okay or whether, you know, they've all been disturbed from the hail as well. Obviously, this has kept most of the hail out. The hail was bunched up either side of these rows. So, yeah, here's my coriander. As you can see, it's quite battered. Okay, folks, the breeze is picking up. But as you can see here, this is the majority of the damage. All of these plants and weeds and everything that I've had growing in this section have just been shredded. Look, that just all the poppies have just been shredded and are on the ground. I mean, this area, I'm not too unhappy because I do have to do a lot of work in this area. Oh gosh, look at the Egyptian walking onions. Look at my garlic. So these are the garlics, shredded. Look at the garlics. Oh my goodness. So I was going to do a big harvest of these walking Egyptian onions, but they've just been absolutely destroyed. They will bounce back. They will grow more leaves. Gosh, this kale. My goodness. I mean, the good side is that all of this weed here is now destroyed. Oh, there's a bit of clover growing in my garden here, and that has been destroyed a bit too. I really need to clean this garden up. So all these beautiful poppy plants that I was so looking forward to picking flowers from soon, they are just absolutely shredded, and they will come back. You know, I'm confident that they will grow more leaves, but all of that growth, they were so tall and so happy, they have just been absolutely destroyed. Look at these leeks. I might just harvest some of those. But yeah, as I said, this garden has been needing some work anyway. Oh my gosh, look. And you know, the cockies do so much damage. And they've done so much damage to these plants in this area in particular because I haven't had it covered. But what if I just put that frost cloth over here, this would have been fine. The oregano looks fine. It looks okay. But yeah, these brassicas, they have seen better days, and all these seedlings down here shredded into mulch. These were looking so happy and so vibrant. Look at them. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's the mugwort and the catmint here. I'm hoping I'm holding this camera properly. And here we come to a small patch of lettuces. They're just shredded. Shredded lettuce, anybody? So there's a bit of a breeze picking up, so I'll make this quick. But despite the fact that there's quite a bit of damage in my garden right now, these frost cloths and nets have saved the areas that I've been harvesting from often, daily. All the brassicas and all the potatoes and everything that I've planted in these sections are safe and fine, despite a few plants that were in these Rio rows. Everything else is perfectly fine, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, basically I just wanted to show you all that these nets and the frost cloths, despite the fact that I don't like these frost cloths, and one of them got damaged as well, but it still saved the plants underneath even though it got damaged. But yeah, these frost cloths and this netting saved my garden. So if there's any hail warnings coming out to you, there you go. You can use these sorts of things to protect your garden. So I just wanted to share that. And I've just come out of, well, I thought I came out of the wind, but the wind seems to be going in all sorts of directions. I've just come to the west side of the house and look at this ice. So this is what fell, and there's still ice here. I was just in town this morning and there was still ice on the sides of the roads, and they were hosing it, trying to get it to melt. There are several buildings that have had damage. Roofs have these are old buildings, and roofs have sort of collapsed a bit. And all this ice has been sitting on the roofs of all the buildings. And eventually it starts melting, and then you come into trouble. But yeah, we've still got some ice here. Wow, just crazy weather. Absolutely insane. So what do you do when you've had things destroyed and you just, you want to keep your heart in it? You want to try and stay positive. These things do just happen, and we've just got to try our way through. If I experienced this often, I think I would definitely, with all the bird damage I get too, I would definitely look into netting some of my patches, perhaps like on tall up high, but I'm not going to rush to any of those sorts of drastic things, plus it's out of our budget anyway. The netting on the beds seem to be doing the job. I'm just sitting right in the wind here. Let's move again. So the netting works for the birds and it works well for the hail, so I highly recommend the netting. There was quite a bit of hail sitting on top, so I had to get out there as soon as I could and get that off so it didn't lean onto the plants and then freeze the plants underneath. I mean, this is also a good reason why we don't plant out our frost sensitive plants at this time of the year. It definitely in November is the time, although I looked in my books from last year and I had planted out some zucchini plants this month. Now this year I haven't even planted my seed yet into the punnets, but I had obviously started these seedlings inside in August, and then I planted them out in September. So I planted them out maybe the 16th or 19th of September, and I'm so grateful that I haven't done that this year, because these cold little snaps and this hail just would have taken them out. Even if I had frost cloth on them, I reckon the cold of last night would have taken them out. Yeah, I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that this doesn't happen again and that my carrot seeds that I planted yesterday are okay and they haven't all just my fear is that they've just been hit so much with the water that they've moved elsewhere, or they're bunched up in one of the parts of the channel that I've planted them in. But we shall see. Time will tell. So I'm going to leave you with some footage that I took. I took most of the footage on my phone, and I have got some on my Instagram account. So if you wanted to go and see some of that, I might do what do you call it? It's not a timeline, is it? A story timeline maybe, of the footage that I took. I haven't yet posted them, so I will do that soon. But yeah, pretty crazy weather. I hope you're all safe and everything is all good with your gardens and that you haven't received damage, and fingers crossed that everything stays well from here on out. I haven't really looked around the front garden much. I've just noticed that the strawberries have taken a hit, and we have got some of our plum blossoms just budding out. The leaves are coming out. So hopefully our fruit trees are okay, but that was a big storm, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more damage to come and we just don't get some fruit. Oh, it looks like the orange tree, the one and only citrus tree that we have, has taken some damage. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go and make myself another cup of tea maybe plant some seedlings. I might plant some zucchini and cucumbers because I haven't done that yet. And hopefully I will find some strength to get into my garden and just have a potter, and maybe I'll look at the weather and I might plant some things today and tomorrow, and then I'll put some netting over them. Thank goodness for the netting. All right, see you friends. Bye.
Some of your garden beds are being
You have to go and shake them.
and there's I'm trying to